Hey, what's up guys, Shulko King here, bringing you my Week 6 Team Builder and Battle for Eon World Trophy, and this week we are taking on the Uzigunner. Definitely really cool to be able to play him. So before we get into this, make sure you guys like this video if you like what I'm putting out in terms of video content, and consider giving a subscription. Definitely appreciate the support. So definitely cool opportunity to play Uzi. I've never played him before, and he's been recently uploading videos again. He's been obviously editing for Wolfie, but outside of that, it'd be cool to see more of his content out there. He is a very good content creator. So his team is also very good. He had the first overall pick and picked Zera Aura. Definitely a viable first pick. And then I followed up with Aegislash. Maybe Dragapult was better, but I've been really liking Aegislash. I have no regrets at that point, especially because I already have Dragapult for APA. So his team, and he also has a second really high top tier mon is really good in Kyurem. So, and I expect him to bring that in this game. Kyurem and Zera Aura, obviously. So his team, for most at least start things you can see, is the Zera Aura. It's just fast. It can set up and win, and there's no really one mon that can deal with any potential set he brings. Like if Rhydon, he could be Grass Knot. Appleton, he could be Outrage or Plate Rough, so I can't bring a specific berry for that. Outside of that, I still go out speeds, but I can't do that much to it. Rotom Wash can get to a KO'd by Thunderbolt, so definitely pretty annoying there. Decidueye is actually probably a little bit more threatening than Kyurem. Like if he Swords Dance with priority, that can wreck my team. It wrecks Aegislash, Clefable, and Rotom Wash. And an extent, Snorlax doesn't want to be taking +2 Leaf Blades, so Appleton can kind of handle it. Outside of that, very annoying, and I guess a Cincino revenge killing, because I'm immune to ghost type moves. Kyurem can break super well with specs outside of the Snorlax, so something you have to consider, like Earth Power, or even Life Orb. Earth Power does a lot to Aegislash. Life Orb, Ice Beam does a lot to Clefable. Rotom Wash will get hit by Freeze Dry, so a lot of options there, and obviously Draco. Togekiss can just flinch and win games, has fire coverage for Aegislash. Rotom Wash can kind of hard wall it. Hopefully I just don't get flinched a lot. Arcanine, pretty reliable for Aegislash. Even like Rotom can't do a crap ton to it unless I have a lot of special attack investment. Something to watch out for. Steelix can handle the Aegislash and Clefable pretty well. Probably one or the other, but his only rockers are Steelix or Colossal, and I would expect the Steelix to come over Colossal. Passimian can be bulk up, outspeed Aegislash, Clefable, and a defensive Rotom, and with like Earthquaker, Knockoff, Gunk Shot, Seed Bomb, it hits all those super effectively. Now, he probably wants close combat to hit Snorlax and everything else, obviously, but he has ways to hit like my core 3 defensive core, being Aegislash, Clefable, Rotom. And Snorlax is also there, but I consider those top 3 almost going to bring every match. Don't necessarily feel that way about Snorlax. Or it could just be Scarf. Skuntank can comfort Aegislash and Clefable as well. Pyukumuku, kind of tough. I have to have ways to beat it. It could just wall my entire team otherwise, but otherwise it's not really, like Clefable can't do anything to, Aegislash can't really do anything to, so I just have to watch out for Pyukumuku. Colossal, I have a Rotom, so don't really see it coming. So, game plan into this game, Aegislash, Clefable, Rotom, all looked really good in this matchup. I felt like I had a chance with a Barkerical Sweep, potentially. I haven't tried that yet, so hopefully I can pull something off. Snorlax looks pretty decent handled to Kyurem. It's really only concerned about, I guess, Passimian and the Zera Aura with close combat. Arcanine close combat too, but not as worried about that. So, first one we have is Aegislash with leftovers. Special defensive. He has a very low chance to a KO me with modest Life Orb Earth Power from Kyurem. If he specs Earth Power, then so be it. I have other ways to switch into that if I figured out he specs. But modest special attack Life Orb won't be able to a KO, and then I could do a lot of damage with Flash Cannon or Toxics and King Shields, and maybe trade. I would definitely be okay trading Kyurem with Aegislash, because Kyurem is pretty annoying. But otherwise, he doesn't have a whole lot to break the Zera Aura. I have King Shield to maybe predict a knockoff coming up. Arcanine obviously can handle this set pretty well. I could run like Head Smash Arcanine, but other than that, Aegislash doesn't really want to deal with Arcanine. It can handle a Togekiss if it wants to try to flinch win. Really only Arcanine is the most reliable way to break through this mon on his team. Steelix kind of too, but I'm not really worried about Aegis / dealing with a Steelix, because I have pretty decent switch-ins to it. As I said before, Barbarical, I'm going to try to sweep this game. Standard set, kinda. The speed is to add speed, like a no-speed Arcanine. And I would also add speed Scarf Kyurem if I'm at +2, just as an FYI there. Night Slash over stabs or plus stabs to hit the Decidueye. Considered like toxic or sub or something to hit the Pyukumuku. I don't have much for it. Liquidation has a chance to get defense drops, and then I have Rock Slide or Night Slash for crits. So I definitely have potential adds for Pyukumuku. And if he wants to toxic me first, then at least I have the Lumberry to try to avoid that. He could be a counter, stuff I have to consider, but hopefully I can get it toxicked before I try to sweep a Barbarical. That would have to be the goal. I could have ran like Shucka Berry for the Steelix. It was kind of tough to figure out what item to bring. I didn't really want White Herb just because Arcanine was like pretty obvious with Intimidate, just in case. Not that he would, I don't think it'd be crazy to switch an Arcanine into a Barbarical, but he does have the option. And I figured the defense drops weren't that big of a deal on his team. Hopefully I try to just kill everything by the time I bring his Barbarical and try to sweep. Next Pokemon I have is the Rotom Wash to kind of handle the Zeraora. I don't believe he 2-hit KOs me after rocks with a Plasma Fist, unless he's like Life Orb, then that would be pretty problematic. The Hydro Pump Volt Switch stabs are pretty straightforward. Pain Split for recovery, Toxic to hit the Kyurem. Yeah, pretty straightforward set, no defog, but figured I didn't really need it again because his rockers are Steelix and Colossal, so I'm not too worried about hazards getting up this game. Next Pokemon I have is another sweeper, so I guess if Barbarical can't do it, maybe Rhydon can do it. Probably less effectively, but it's at least bulkier, especially on the physical defensive side. If I find out he's like a very offensive Zeraora, maybe without Grass Knot, but I imagine he'll be Grass Knot Zeraora if he brings it, so that's not the most reliable, but maybe on like an Arcanine, Togekiss even potentially. So Rock Polish, Earthquake, Stone Edge, Swords Dance. Nothing on his team resists the combination of the two moves. Like a defensive Decidueye can take it on, maybe okay. Pyukumuku kind of walls this set, but outside of those two mons, I can basically win if I get a Rock Polish up. Swords Dance would be nice, but not needed necessarily. If I have a chance to maybe get a Swords Dance up on the Arcanine, I would do it, but it could be Will-O-Wisp, so it'd be kind of risky. That'd have to depend based on the moment in the game. I gotta bring Clefable, so Stealth Rock, Soft Boil, Toxic Moonblast, Special Defensive to take on the Kyurem. I think this takes 2 Specs Ice Beams, and then the rest, that might not be true. I think Specs might even 2-hit KO. It might be Life Orb. Don't quite remember, but I have Soft Boil to recover up. I figured if I had even more special defense that I had, it didn't make any difference in terms of rolls. So I figured put a little bit of defense to maybe live a Zeraora hit better, or like a Passimian Gunk Shot, maybe give me rolls in my favor. Pretty straightforward set. Rocks Clefable is not what I prefer, but rocks are very nice to chip down the Kyurem and the Arcanine and the Togekiss. So last Pokemon I have is Snorlax, another way to kind of deal with the Zeraora. I basically got 2 fast sweepers and 4 mons that will hopefully prevent Uzi from sweeping me. So I have counter. This can take, it takes a +1 Plasma Fist from Life Orb Zeraora, or it takes a close combat, and in return I can kill with counter. Earthquake to do a lot of damage with Zeraora in case he wants to Calm Mind, for instance. Body Slam just for overall stab. Otherwise, a combination of Earthquake plus Body Slam hits his team, I guess minus the Decidueye, but I have Toxic to at least put it on a timer. Decidueye is going to be a problem, but I'll have to play around it. But like, Clefable doesn't want to take on Decidueye that well, Rhydon doesn't, Rotom Barbarical doesn't, Aegislash can kinda. So yeah, I know Decidueye is going to be an issue, but if I can play around that, then I think I have a decent chance to win this game. So let's get right into it. Alright, here we are for the battle against Uzi, and yeah, it's a weird way to be doing these post-narrations. I haven't done one in a while, which was usually the norm for me before, but we'll see how this goes. So Uzi brings a team that I did not expect. He brought a lot of mons that I didn't think would come as much as like his more expensive mons. Like I didn't think the Colossal was going to come at all. Skunk Tank seemed more of a niche. Passimian had a chance, but I wouldn't have favored Passimian over Zero Aura. So definitely a weird matchup for sure. And I know he definitely has things up his sleeve, mainly with the Colossal. Like I know if he's bringing Colossal, then he has to be a lead with Stealth Rocks and Spikes. And because I don't have Defog on the team, this could be very annoying to deal with. But it's trying to figure out what he's going to go with at that point. It could be a lot of setup with the combination of Swords Dance, Decidueye, Bulk Up, Passimian, maybe even like a Dragon Dance Kyurem, but I think just like a Specs Breaker makes some more sense. Maybe Curse Steelix could be an option as well to take Barbarical on better. So definitely a weird team here, but I'm okay with him not bringing the Zero Aura. So knowing that he was going to lead with the Colossal, my lead was going to be with the Rotom. I could have led with the Rhydon, but I didn't want that weakened because I figured I had a very good chance to win this game outside of the Decidueye. If I can get that weakened, then I can get up a Rock Polish on the Skunk Tank, even the Passimian potentially, especially if he clears combats and gets a defense drop. I can set up on this Steelix and probably the Colossal unless he's a Will-O-Wisp, and then maybe win the game. So I didn't want to leave with my Rhydon on the Colossal. And Decidueye is a pretty easy switch in anyway if I lead with Rhydon. So I'm going to lead with the Rotom because I figured I could at least stay in and get a Toxic up on a Decidueye if that's a switch in. So I'm going to go for the Toxic, predicting him to switch into the Decidueye, but he stays in and goes for the Rocks. So definitely very annoying. Rocks aren't they're not the biggest deal in the world, but taking that chip damage is definitely not something I want to take if I don't have to. Especially because I have no like reliable recovery on the team outside of Clefable. With this team being so bulky, it's definitely going to get worn down pretty quickly. So something I have to watch out for. Hydro Pump probably didn't kill. I'm sure he had EVs, maybe even Focus Sash to live a Hydro Pump, but it would have been nice to bring this down all the way. So maybe it's something I regret later, but we will see. But yeah, predicting the Colossal to stay in, I'm going to just go for the Hydro Pump at this point and knock him out, maybe to break a Sash. But he goes into the Kyurem. Kyurem is annoying. Toxic is a play to hit this. But based on the damage, I know he's more bulkier and no leftovers. So definitely interesting. He could maybe be Metronome to like hide that he's like a substitute set. And I figured that he was going to be a substitute set. So I didn't want to stay in Toxic, so instead I Volt switched, and so if he did sub at least, I was able to get some momentum and go into Clefable. I see it to Reflect though, so I know he's going to set up a light screen, and it's going to be a very hyper offensive team. So against my Bulk, it might be pretty problematic. It's going to see if my Bulk is going to outlast his potential setup, so I'm not going to be doing much damage at all. Fortunately, like I do have a lot of Toxic mons on the team, but Skunk Tank and Steelix both don't really mind it, or actually don't take any damage from those moves, so definitely annoying there. So I seen go up for the dual screens. I'm going to get my Rocks up, and then at this point I go for the Toxic. Figure to just get as much residual damage on the Kyurem as possible, and I figure that a Decidueye could be the switch in here, but he goes in the Skunk Tank, and I avoided Toxic, doesn't matter. Moonblast would have done a little bit of damage, but not that much. But I figured at this point he's probably a nasty plot Skunk Tank, and I can't stay in anyway because I'm sure he's offensive with Sludge Bomb. So figure out a way how to deal with this. At least he's leftovers, so I know he's not going to be doing as much damage. So I had to go into Rhydon because Rhydon should be able to take any move pretty well from a Skunk Tank, and Earthquake should be to a KOing because I am offensive. So we see from the Dark Pulse that does a crap ton of damage, but I do live, don't get flinched, and do a very massive damage to this Skunk Tank. So Rhydon not being able to sweep is very unfortunate, but I feel like Barbarical still has a decent chance to be pretty good in the in-game. If I can get up to +2, and I get chip damage on the Decidueye because +2 Night Slash won't kill it from full. I do have Rocks up, which is nice, but I need even a little bit more chip damage. Like I need it to be around 70% to kill the Decidueye. So if I can get a Toxic up, that'll be my key to try to win this game. Because I do feel like I'll be able to set up with a Barbarical. I just have to watch out for the screens. So I send with my Snorlax. Really the only mon that can take a hit reliably at +2. Rotom probably could, but I'd be taking way too much damage. And go for the Earthquake, but he brings in the Decidueye. Normally can't do much to it at all, but I know my win condition could be setting up a Cell Smash with a Barbarical. I want to get a Toxic on this, but he has the Lumberry, so that's definitely great prep for him. But I just have to go for another Toxic, knowing that he won't be able to knock me out just because of my high defense investment. Fortunately, I don't miss. If I miss there, I'm pretty sure I lose the game. So I'm going to have to play around this Decidueye, which is going to be very annoying. So I'm already down 2 mons, and he has rocks up. I mean, we both have rocks up, but not looking great. So I feel like I have to go into my Clefable here. If I go into Aegislash, I'll be taking a lot of damage from Spirit Shackle. And even though I do have King Shield, I won't be able to Toxic Stall this nearly fast enough. He is going to switch out, which is definitely nice. I just go for a Moonblast to try to get as much damage off, and maybe bring it down to where King Shield would kill off the Kyurem. But he brings in the Colossal, which gives him an opportunity to set up spikes. Definitely not what I wanted, but it's not like I could really switch out and make any other better play because I don't have Defog on the Erodum, which I always say I want to bring Defog whenever I have facing spike potential on the team. So that was definitely my bad on my build for not bringing a Defog support against Colossal, even if I thought it was very unlikely to come. I do bring it down, but he has a lot of hazards up, which definitely makes it harder for the Barbarical to sweep just because he does have 2 layers of spikes up. So the Kyurem comes out. I mean, I'm going to stay in and go for Moonblast. Toxic could have been a play and maybe not even try to kill this Kyurem in the first place, just to stall out as many screen terms as possible. But Steelix is an option, and like I don't really want the option of Steelix coming in for free. So he does bring in the Skunk Tank at this point. I know I'm special defensive, so I feel like I just have to go for the kills. And based on my special defense investment, I am able to take 2 Sludge Bombs, which is super nice. Passimian is going to be annoying because I know he's going to have coverage for my Aegislash. And even if I can kill Aegislash against Passimian, then Steelix comes in and is super annoying. So, and the Decidueye is still a little bit healthy. Like, it's going to be around 50%. And my Rotom won't be able to kill 50%. So, it's going to definitely come down to the wire at this point. So, he also has screens up, which is definitely to his benefit. So, maybe at this point, Dark Pulse might have been the play for Uzi to maybe get a flinch and kill me. But I guess he just wanted to make this sure that the Clefable is really low, so he could revenge kill pretty easily at this point. And the Decidueye is going to be able to come in and kill me with any move he wanted to. He goes for Spirit Shackle. I mean, I knew he had it, so it's not like he was revealing his hand or anything. So I go into Aegislash because he does not have a Swords Dance up. I can live a Spirit Shackle, and I don't want to go for the King Shield in case he goes for a Synthesis, because I don't want his last move is or a Swords Dance, predicting me to go for the King Shield. So I'm going to just go for the guaranteed kill on the Decidueye, which is great. He brings in a Passimian, which, again, another setup mon, super annoying, and he still has screens up. So I feel like it's kind of hard for me to go for the King Shield here, mainly because, one, if he bulks up, then I'm in really bad position, and 2, if I do King Shield and he goes for the knockoff, he has Defiant, so he'll be able to actually get an attack boost. So I can't go for the King Shield here. I have to go for just for any attack, Toxic, and let him kill me with a knockoff. So it's a 2-on-2. I have 2 water types against the Steelix, which is great, but this Passimian's going to be very annoying. I bring in my Rotom. I don't have Will-O-Wisp, which would be very nice in this situation, but at least the Toxic's going to wear him down a little bit quicker. So that's definitely the trade-off there. He goes for the bulk up, and I go for the Hydro Pump. And I see from that damage, that's like even more. The light screen is up, but I should be doing more damage to that, even if he's max HP. So I know he has a lot of special defense investment in this Passimian. So that's interesting to note. There is a chance my Barbarical could even outspeed this Passimian. So I feel like I have a chance at this point because Barbarical could potentially win. So he goes for the knockoff here as I go for the Toxic just to make sure I'm going to be able to take this down. And hopefully I live a hit, a close combat, and then fire off with a Pain Split. And fortunately I do live with 1 HP, which is great. The poison damage is definitely going to wear this down. And I went for a Toxic instead of Hydro Pump because if I miss a Hydro Pump, I also pretty much lose the game because I won't be able to kill the Passimian. Unless if I get a Toxic up, I do have a chance to rack up damage to the point to where Liquidation could kill, and I don't want to really rely on Rock Slide flinches with my Barbarical and his Pessimian to take it down. So he will be able to take down my my Rotom with this Pessimian and be alive with a little bit of HP remaining. But I know that he is special defensive, so I have a decent chance to add speed, and I have a chance to win this game. It's going to be tough. I can't go for the Shell Smash, obviously, because he's going to kill me with close combat, so I have to go for the Liquidation here. And I just have to hope that, one, he might be afraid of me being Shuckaberry, which is probably more unlikely. I just have to hope he's not Max Attack. Max Attack Earthquake shouldn't be knocking me out. If he is like a very offensive Steelix, then he will kill me with Earthquake, because I don't have the Shuckaberry. And another interesting thing to note, that he is Boots, because he doesn't take any rocks damage. So I'm sure it's a what's it called, Sturdy set, and is able to live any hit. So that was really cool prep on Uzi's part to make sure he lives any one hit and can retaliate a Rhydon or a Barbarical. So I gotta go for the Liquidation. Does a lot of damage, probably showing that he's not that much defense investment, and goes for the Body Press, and I am able to live it barely, and I kill with Liquidation. So that's crazy, and I feel really bad about this result. Good game to Uzi, but I feel bad because Earthquake would have killed me, and he had it. So yeah, that's just tough. A tough way for Uzi. He's going to be at 3-3, and he has to win his fourth game in order to make playoffs. It's going to be I think it might be possible for him to make it at 3-4, but very, very improbable. So I know 5 teams have 4 wins, and I think 3 teams have 3 wins. So he's going to have to, unless he gets super lucky with differential and all those other teams losing, and it may be 2 3-3 teams play each other. I don't even know what the playoff scenario is. I don't really have to worry about it, because I'm definitely in playoffs with a 5-1 record with 1 game left. But I'm not guaranteed a top 2 seed at this point. So I do want to fight for top 2 seed so I can get a bye week and only play 2 games to win the championship. I don't want to go like last season and win 3 games. So very unfortunate there for Uzi, just by clicking the wrong move. With Earthquake, he was max attack and would have won the game. So, but I'll take anyone I can get. So still number 1 in the league, only team with a 5-1 record. A lot of teams are at 4-2. So definitely will take this result. So good game to Uzi. Hopefully you can make playoffs and have a rematch, though his team is scary. I don't know if I want to rematch him. But anyway, until next time, later guys.